All right, good afternoon, traders. Today is October 2nd, 2025. My name is John Carignan. I'm the lead instructor here at the BYOB Trading Room. Thank you for being here. Thank you, everybody out there in podcast land, digital land, cyber land. Special shout out to Kathy, Sarah Roasted, Bob Jordan, John Jordan, everybody that shares the content. Appreciate that. Thank you so much for everybody that participates, as well as my paying subscribers. Can't forget about you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you. Appreciate that. All right. Before we get started, let's do a few one announcement. Already did that. Okay, we got an open house for BYOB on the 6th of October. That's going to be this Monday from 8 till 4. Okay, I'll leave a link in the description how to get registered for it. All right, let's take a look at the markets today, how I made $6K on a $47K account. Not a bad day. So that represents, remember, I'm supposed to make 1%. All right, so I had to make 470 today, okay? Made $6K, so that's like well over 10%. So that's a good day. That's a good day. Almost got the account doubled, all right? All right, let's take a look at price action for today. Okay, now when we started out this day, we said to ourselves, and we had a powwow, a meeting of the BYOB powwow, all right, and we said we were going to look for a bull flag to develop up here. I mean, we would have welcomed a breakout, but we didn't get one, all right? So we saw the price gapped up, and we see we're underneath the downtrend, and I said I'm not going to play the 10-minute downtrend because it's counter trend, but we did plan on price to pull back to the lower third. To the bottom of the upper third. So we measure out the quad lines right here. Okay, so the bottom of the upper third would have been right about here. Okay, right about there. You can see price pulled back from there, and then took a little while. All right, a little more than. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we took off. Okay? Notice that number 6 comes in again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we clear the area. Okay, so that would have been the upper third. Remember I say the upper third, that's bullish. Lower third, that's bearish. So right there at the upper third, we pulled back to that area, and then we bounced right back up into the middle of quadrant 4. So we were looking to play a bull flag, trade a bull flag, okay, in this fashion from the bottom up to the top, or as high as it wants to go, really, till the 3 crosses the 8. So from that up to there. So in my futures account tonight, I'll be trading from this area up to the top, up from this area up to the top. All right, that's what I'll be looking to do. As soon as I see a reversal in this area, I'll be looking to buy in this area and trade it back up to the top. So there's SPY on the 10-minute. So all we had today was a 10-minute downtrend that was counter trend. Again, I said I'm not willing to really trade the counter trend, but I did trade 10-minute uptrend. That was beautiful right here. Had a 10-minute uptrend that developed and petered out right there at yesterday's high. Right there. Okay, so SPY got a new all-time high. So into the close, what do we got? It's 4 o'clock. We got a 1-2 candle downtrend on the 10-minute chart. On the 2-hour chart, still have a 2-hour uptrend. Notice the 3 EMA is up over the 8 EMA right here. So 2-hour uptrend coming into the close. On the daily chart, new all-time high, okay, for SPY. Let's take a look. Of course, the weekly chart also in an uptrend. And the monthly chart still in an uptrend. Okay, so what do I like? I like 10-minute. I like 10-minute uptrends. All right, I like them when they're over VWAP. I like them when they reside inside a 2-hour uptrend, inside of a daily uptrend, inside of a weekly, inside of a monthly. Why? So I have all those bigger time frames supporting my little 10-minute uptrend to the upside. Make it last longer, make it go further. All right, so there's SPY on the 10-minute. 10-minute downtrend right into the support area. That would be the upper third, the lower side of the upper third. Then we bounced off of there to come back through VWAP right through there. So there's SPY in the 10-minute again, 2 hours in an uptrend. Let's take a look at QQQ. All right, QQQ a little bit different here. Okay, we had a pullback. All right, right back to the gap fill. They gapped up, filled gap, SPY filled gap as well. All right, then price action had a 10-minute uptrend. Okay, railed away into the close. So they close with a 10-minute uptrend. Okay, over VWAP on QQQ. That's bullish sign. On the 2-hour chart, okay, we got ourselves a 2-hour uptrend right there. So I like it when those 10-minute uptrends reside inside of a 2-hour uptrend. Okay, that resides inside of a daily uptrend, inside the weekly, inside the monthly. So taking a look at this, that looks like a new all-time high for QQQ. Let's visit the daily, and it is new all-time high for QQQ. Again, at the top of quadrant 4, just like SPY bullish, still in an uptrend up there. All right, let's take a look at see the weekly uptrend, monthly uptrend. Okay, let's take a look at FNGU, and we'll look at it on the daily chart. FNGU got a higher low and a higher high, closing over bearish trap and over the 17 EMA. Okay, still bullish up here at the top. Still in an uptrend right there on FNGU on the daily. I'll pan out. You can see this is the April low. This is the high. We're up here in the middle of quadrant 4. That's bullish up there. Haven't made any lower lows, so we haven't broken anything. Still in an uptrend, still bullish. FNGU. IWM makes a higher low and a higher high, closing over a bullish trap up at the top of quadrant 4. That's bullish and still in an uptrend on IWM. That's the Russell 2000. Diamond Dow makes a higher low and a higher high, closing up over a bullish trap over the rising 17. That's the green dots right there. Top of quadrant 4, that's bullish, and then an uptrend right there on Diamond Dow. Let's take a look at silver and gold. Start with gold. Gold digs out a new all-time high today. Okay, make sure I got that right. Yep, gold new all-time high. That's bullish and still in an uptrend. Pan way out so you can see the whole chart. Okay, from down here in 2023 to up here in 2025. Okay, bullish and still in an uptrend on gold. Let's take a look at silver. New 14-year high on silver. Bullish and still in an uptrend. Up here in quadrant, you can see this is quadrant 1, 2, 3, 4. 14-year high, new 14-year high. Again, we got some space between the 14-year high and the all-time high. Okay, that's the space right up there. They're closing in on it more and more every day. There's silver, bullish and in an uptrend. Same as GLD. All right, let's take a look at USO. Yawning here. USO in a downtrend. They got a low. They made a lower low, so they're in a downtrend. They like to go up and they give it up. They go up and they give it up, so they're just neutral. If they were in the upper third, they would be bullish. If they were in the lower third, they'd be bearish. They're not, so they're just neutral through here. And you can see price action making a lower low, so that's in a downtrend. Hold on, I got something happening right through here. And Substack. Thank you, Tex. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, and there's USO. Let's take a look at UNG. All right, I said it. All right, right here. I said we'll come and see this valley between the two peaks. I said if price ever gets in an uptrend, we're going to visit this location right here. And look, we did. Okay, price action, higher low, higher high, closing over a bullish trap, over the rising 17 EMA. It's in an uptrend. It's in quadrant 1, so it's bearish and in an uptrend on UNG. All right, let's take a look at our technicals. Start with T2101. Okay, this is the reversal zone. This is where we reversed. Last time we were down here for COVID, and then reversal out of this area produced a COVID rally. All right, so we'll see what happens with that. This is participation. this is the amount of participation, and we're getting less and less participation day by day. You can see we are kind of, even though we put in a new all-time high, we're still melting down into this area right here where we were. We just popped up out of there. So we'll see what happens with that. So T2101 in a downtrend, still in a downtrend. T2122. All right, we made yesterday a little higher low and a higher high, and I thought for sure we'd be up here in the buy zone, but we're not. We find ourselves back down here in the seller's chop zone and knocking on the door of the sell zone. So producing, well, I'm going to say equal lows and equal highs, a little bit lower high right there. So there's T2122. Hanging out in the seller's chop zone almost all day. T2123 still in a downtrend. See the valley low right here, and we made a lower low, so that puts us in a downtrend right there. Price action on the 15-minute, we're underneath the 200 SMA. Not my favorite place to be, not where I want to be. Underneath the 200. Got a bearish gap down that still has not been filled for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days. This bearish trap down has not been gap filled yet. That's T2123. So we're holding in bear flag formation on the 15-minute charts. Take a look at the 3-bar. 3-bar, you're holding in bull flag formation up there, but melting. Looks like every day will be, that's bullish up there at the top of quadrant 4. If they take out this low, that'll be a downtrend. Right now, they're bullish at the top of quadrant 4. They're up over the rising 200 SMA. They have not made any lower lows, so they are still in an uptrend up there. T2123. FNGU. For today, we kind of bullied all day. I like it that we crossed over the dipping 200 SMA, and we're kind of holding this higher ground here. I am looking at a bear flag right here. It moved down and then slant like this. So we have a bear flag. Not sure if we go up or go down. The typical move next is we linger too long down here. The next move should be to come down. So we'll see what happens, but right now on FNGU, they're bullish. They're in an uptrend on the 15-minute. That's bullish. Okay, for FNGU, here's a high. They made a higher high. And that's it for FNGU. All right, so that's it. Take a look at what I traded today. And we'll start off with 670 calls, 0 DTE. You can see here. I sold off my position at the beginning of the day for some profits. And then I waited till price got all the way down here to the lower third. Or the bottom of the upper third. And then I bought and we sold. I sold calls into strength with that. That's SPY. 670 calls 1 day till expiration. Again, sold them off at the high, and I bought one down here. Probably could have bought another one right here, but all in all, not much happening. Just took profits right out of the gate when SPY hit new all-time high early this morning in the pre-market, just as the market opened. 675, 4 days till expiration. Bought the calls on the dip. Okay, so I'm buying the dip. And I sell into strength right up here. Okay, so there's SPY on 10-minute chart, of course. 4 days till expiration, 675 strike calls. So that's it. So I made about $6,000 on trading those right there. Again, that 10-minute uptrend. Looking for price to make a bounce off of the upper third area and make a nice little 10-minute uptrend. So we traded that all the way up to the upside. So that's it. If that's it for everybody, I'll see you all tomorrow. We'll see you at 8 o'clock. Tomorrow's be last day of the first week. Don't forget. Open house on Monday. That's the 6th. Hope to see everybody there if you're out there in podcast land, digital land, cyber land. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a beautiful evening.